It's recording. Okay. Hey guys, I just wanted to hopefully make a quick video to talk to you and share with you about my inviting process. I know it can look different for everybody, and especially when you've been a coach for a while, you kind of make your own system. You kind of figure out what works best for you. I think as a new coach, it's awesome to use the script as long as you change the wording a bit so that it sounds like you, it sounds authentic. You don't want to be a robot and copy that word for word. But over time, you'll kind of figure out a system that works best for you. And so this is what I've been doing. If you guys remember, if you've been with me for a while, we had a little huddle call about, I shared a video that Ashley Fell Dyson had shared with me. And so I've actually been still using that system, but I've been tweaking it a little bit. So I wanted to show it to you. I'm hoping that, because it makes sense for me, like in my head, it makes sense. I'm hoping that when I explain it, it makes sense to you too and doesn't come across as really overwhelming and undoable. I think for me, it's really doable. I think it's really simple. Once it's like anything else, once you get the hang of it, I go through my follow-ups and my invites really fast. So please comment below with any questions you have, because most likely if you have questions, somebody else has the same exact question, and I'd rather help you all out where we can all see each other's questions rather than in a private message where I can't help everybody. So yeah, here we go. I'm going to share my screen and show you what I do every day. So not to toot my own horn, but I'm at SC18 this month, and we still have a little bit less than a week to go. So just saying that I think this system works if you want to adapt it so that you can try it too. I'd be more than willing to help you give it a try. Okay, so I'm going to go into I'm going to share a couple pieces that may not exactly relate to follow-ups and invites, but it kind of does. So you'll just bear with me. I'm probably making it seem worse than it is. So the first thing I do every day is go to my friends, and so I can reach out to my new recently added friends. So what I'll do is I go to your profile, go to friends, go to recently added, and then I scroll down to where I left off. I usually just remember. You can write it down if you want, but if you just hover over the person's name and then go over to message, it will bring up your archived conversation. So like, I already know that I messaged this girl yesterday just based on this. So obviously I didn't end with her. So I'm going to go to her. I messaged her yesterday, so I'm not going to go to her. I messaged her yesterday. I know I messaged her. This is the person that I ended with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Cindy. This takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. So I'm going to open her page. 90% of my people, 99% of my people that I friend request come from my like page, and that's a whole other video in and of itself. So many of the people that I am talking to already kind of know me. They've been following me, unbeknownst to me, but they've been following me and liking my stuff. And so when I get new likes, I reach out to them, and that's where my friend requests come from. So, but I don't want to assume that everybody I'm just going to turn my phone around because it's distracting me. I'm not going to assume that those people recognize me because it's my like page versus my personal page. So I like to do this every day. I like to reach out to my new ads. It ends up being from the day that they accept to the day that I message. It ends up being the next day typically. I know there's different theories out there about like, wait a while, don't wait a while. I like to do it right away because I think some people might have been hesitant to accept my friend request. And again, they might not recognize me from my like page. So I like to just be honest and right away be like, hey, let them know who I am. And I think it's okay to do that even if you had found them in like a running group or a mom's group, and just say, hey, I saw that we are both in the Enfamil moms group. So I just wanted to reach out and say, hi, I like connecting with other moms. I think rather than them starting to think that you might be some like weird sketchy person, that's just my thought. So I like to message the very next day. So I'll go to Cindy and I'm going to start forming her. FORM, the acronym FORM stands for Family, Occupation, Recreation, in a Message. FORM. So I'm going to go through her page and like some of her stuff and comment on at least one thing. Okay, so this seems really sad. Maybe she wasn't the best example. This is about like suicide prevention. Oh crap, I just lost. Oh, there she is. Okay. So like, this is a fun thing. She said, that's so me, don't touch my food. Haha, so funny. So I'm gonna like that. Just kind of get an idea. So now I can see her picture, see like who she is. I'll like that. I don't think there's like a minimum or a maximum. I'm just gonna like a few things and at least comment on one thing. So she doesn't have a ton on her page that I can kind of relate to. Seems like she might talk in Spanish a little bit. Obviously I don't. So I'm gonna go back to this because this is a kid. I can relate to kids. We can connect on that level. So I'm just gonna say something like, this is so fun. This is too funny. So then she's gonna get a notification that says, oh, Brooke Reed commented on your post. And so it's gonna, hopefully she'll take that as like a compliment. And, it's going to point out my name. And so maybe she'll be like, oh, who's Brooke Reed? Oh, Brooke Reed, that girl that friend requested me yesterday. Okay. And I think once I do this and then message them, it kind of, even if they don't answer me, I am a true believer that I've kind of brought myself to their attention, and she's going to be keeping an even closer eye on me and my posts, which mean that it's even more important than ever to be posting consistently and posting about you. Think about my video this morning. If you didn't watch my video this morning, I'm going to be posting this tomorrow. Think about the video I posted about the so what factor. When you're posting, put it through the so what factor. You want to give people value and you want to show people who you are, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So once I go through this, and the other thing I'm going to do here is go to her friend, make sure we don't have any mutual friends, especially like Beachbody coaches. So here it would, if we did have mutual friends, it would say like 2 mutual friends or 4 mutual friends. And if so, I would open this up and, it'll say, there would be a tab here that said mutual friends, and it'll show me. If she's friends with, anybody who I know is on Team Boom, I'm not going to like pursue a relationship with her because that's just not right. But that rarely happens to me because most of my people come from my like page. It's not like I'm liking them from a group. So I'm going to message her, and I'm pretty consistent in what I say. Hey, Cindy, how are you? Thanks so much for connecting. And I've changed this a little bit recently. So I saw that you liked my fitness page. So I wanted to reach out and say thanks. I appreciate it. And then the next thing is I'm going to start that forming. I feel like I was going to say something. So I don't have to track where my people come from because the majority of them come from my like page. But if you are friend requesting either like people you may know or from like a mom group or like a boys dad group or whatever, I would track where they came from because that's going to help you start and continue the conversation if you remember where you found them from. And it's going to be kind of embarrassing if you're like, oh, hey, I saw that you're a mom. You're in the Enfamil group. And the woman's like, I'm not a mom. You're like, oh, shit. So I would take the extra step and track where you got them from. It makes it a whole lot easier and more comfortable for you if you have that written down when you start the conversation with them. And so here, so it looks like she has a baby. So I'll say, and people who like my page are primarily moms. So I usually go that route because what mom doesn't want to talk about her kids? I saw that you're a mom too. How old is your little one? My guy is 11 months old and time is flying. I know people always told me that, but I never really understood it until I had my baby. So, you know, I'm relating to her. I'm letting her know that I'm invested in her. I'm letting her know that we connect in some way. And I'm asking a question. It's important to ask a question because then she's going to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? More likely to write back. You know, if you don't ask a question, then why would they be encouraged to write back? You know, so I asked, how old is your little one? And what mom doesn't want to talk about her kid, you know? So I'm going to send that. Then after I send that, I'm going to highlight her name. Where can I find her name? Can I highlight her? Yeah, there we go. I'm going to highlight her name, copy, and I'm going to go to my tracker sheet. Oops. Sorry, the Zoom app is there. Okay. So I'm going to go to my tracker sheet. This is my tracker sheet. I'm going to ignore everything for now. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do, and then I'll go back to it. Then her name goes down here. And I'm going to write the date for 1 week from today. So today is the 24th. So the 1st, I think. It doesn't have to be exact. 4/1. That's the next day I'm going to follow up with her if she doesn't write back to me. If she writes back to me, then I'm going to start having a conversation with her. But if she totally ignores me, then this is the next day I'm going to write back to her. Okay? So here I can go back to my messages. Sorry. Go back to my messages, and there it is. And you can tell if she's read it or not by this little circle. So she hasn't yet. This circle will turn to her profile picture once she's read it. But either way, I'm already friends with her, so I'm going to archive this conversation just because I like to keep my inbox clean. If she writes back, it'll pop up. And if she doesn't, I have her on my tracker sheet for a week from today. Does that make sense? So then I'm not going to go through everything because I'm going to spare you all that. But so then I would go back to my profile, back to my friends page. And this is, I mean, obviously I'm going slow because I'm explaining it. It's typically pretty fast. I mean, there's steps, but once you get the hang of it, it's like boom, 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 boom. I don't have the TV on. I have no distractions, and I fly through it. Go back to recently added, go down. I just did her, so obviously she was my last one. So now I'm going to this person. So I'm going to click on her name. We don't have any friends in common. I'm going to peruse through her profile. Looks like she has a little girl. She's a mom. See some things that I can connect with here. Like, that's a picture of her little girl. It's so cute. Keep going. That's pretty cool. Oops. That's a pretty cool tent. That's pretty. Oh, it has like tents within the tent. Oh my God. Oh, it's like rooms. Who said you can't have your own room when camping? I love that. I'm not a camper, but that's pretty freaking cool. Okay, so there's not really much I can comment on. So I've liked like 3 things. I'm going to go back to this picture and write something. This was just from, you can check, this was just from yesterday, so it's not like she did it like 6 months ago. I'm going to say something like, and you want this to be like genuine. Like, I truly think that's a really cute picture. And so you want it to sound like you know, like I can't tell you what to write. So I'm going to say, oh my gosh, this is so sweet. And emoji. So she's getting a notification. Brooke Reed commented on your photo. Who's Brooke Reed? Oh, she friend requested me the other day. Oh, she seems normal. She seems nice. So then she might look at my profile, see that I'm a mom. Oh, we connect. So then when I reach out to her, she's not like, oh, who's this creepy person, you know? So now, again, we don't have friends. I did commented. I liked. I'm going to message. Same message. Hey, Amy. How are you? Thanks so much for connecting. I saw that you liked my fitness page, so I wanted to reach out and say thanks. I appreciate it. Either smiley face, heart, whatever you're feeling. I also saw that you're a mom too. How old is your daughter? My guy is 11 months and time is flying. I mean, I really feel this way. I mean, I know I say it to everybody, but I really feel that way. I feel like I had him yesterday. time is flying. I know everyone told me it would, but I never fully understood it until I had my baby. You know, I could sometimes I'll ask, like, is it your first child? Or if they tell me they're pregnant, I'll say, it's so exciting. When do you do? So again, I asked her a question. I related to her. I talked about my personal experience, and so she'll get back to me. So then I'm going to highlight her name, Amy Gant, edit, copy, go over to my tracker, go all the way to the bottom of this column, edit, paste, write 1 week from today, 4/1. Bam. Now going back to this just really quick. Hold on, where is that? I'm going to refresh. Don't freeze on me now. Okay, so there it is. I can archive it because we're friends. I tend to not archive, just FYI, if like they haven't accepted my friend request, but they've connected with me on Messenger. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. Just because I'm fearful that I won't be able to find them again. So I keep them in my inbox. But since we're friends, I'm going to archive this. Now, if you obviously didn't find your person from your like page, you could, you know, if you found them from a running page, you could say something like, hey, Amy, how are you? Thanks so much for connecting. I saw that we're both in the Nike running fitness page. And so I thought I'd reach out and say hi. I love connecting with other runners. Like, how long have you been running? Do you like to run long distance or short distance? Have you ever ran a half marathon? I ran one last month, or I ran one last year, and I'd love to try to train and run another one. You know, like, relate, let them know you're normal, you're not sketchy, ask them a question so that they're going, I forget that word I'm looking for, they're more likely to write back, and you're going to start that conversation. Okay? So then I'm going to archive her. I'm about halfway done. Hopefully I can finish this up soon. So then going back to my Google Doc. So my tracker is on a Google Doc. I've tried a couple of different systems. I've tried an electronic one that was just so disorganized. I couldn't do it anymore. So then I went over to pen and paper. That didn't work. So now I'm back to this system, and I love it. But you have to find a system that works for you. Like Caroline Nathan is number 40-something in the entire business, and she does pen and paper. So, you know, it's not like one system is better than the other. You just have to find what works for you. This works geniusly for me. So that's what I do with my friend requests, add them to the end of the bottom of my tracker. As you can see, these go in chronological order. So then as part of my follow-ups have 2 pieces. So really my invites and my follow-ups have 2 pieces. So from here, so like this woman, so then I'm going to go to the beginning of this forming column. So my people are in this column if I've already sent them that first initial message. And like I said, a couple weeks ago, I started changing this a little bit. I started asking them about a health question before I started the forming. I used to do the forming on the second message, but I started going with it first, and I think people are relating to that better. So here as part of my invite, so basically these people I've messaged once, I'm going to message them again, and then I'm going to put them into this column. And from here, I'm going to invite. So I'm going to copy this person's name, edit, copy to make sure I get it right, go into Messenger. I don't really care about Facebook at this point, because if they're in this column, that means I've already liked and commented on their stuff. So I can copy them right into Messenger, put it in the search bar and press paste. It's going to come up with her name. And as you can see, from a week ago, I have the initial message. I sent it last Sunday, so that was about 5 days ago. I usually wait. Oh, yeah. As you can see, this says 3:25, which today is 3:24. I've already done my 3:24s from here. I did them this morning and then remembered I wanted to do this video, so I apologize. So she's going to be a little bit early. It's not the end of the world. I don't care. For the purpose of showing you, I'm going to do it anyway. So her name is Audra. I sent it last Sunday, which would have been 6 days ago tomorrow. It doesn't have to be perfect. I give it just about 7 days. Over here, you can see she has seen this message and she ignored it. Don't take it personally. I don't. It doesn't mean she thinks I'm creepy. It doesn't mean she doesn't want to talk to me. It might mean she doesn't want to talk to me, but it might mean she was at a stop sign and saw the notification, and then the light turned, or at a red light, and then the light turned green, and she completely forgot. I mean, people are human, especially my niche. Our moms, we're busy, we're on the go, and so I don't take it personally if somebody doesn't write right back. Can't tell you how many times people have been like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, this, and this happened, but I'm still interested. You know, it's fine. So as you can see, as of last week, I was still asking, I saw that you like my fitness page. Thanks so much. You know, do you have any health goals you're working on? So for her, she's ready for my forming message. But since I've changed that, this would have been the second message. And after I post this video, I can, in the comment section, I can post my blurbs for you. So here, I'm gonna give the forming. So I might go to her profile over here on the right-hand corner. You can go to her profile and just double check. Yep, she's a mom. She has 2 girls. So, you know, as specific as you can be. If you're not sure if it's a boy or a girl, just say like little one or your children or your child. Don't assume. So I'm gonna say, hey girl, and once I've said their name, I'm big into the hey girl, hey lady. It just feels like we're chummy. But you do what's comfortable for you. That is me. That's who I am. If that's not you, don't do it. Hey girl, and I try to swap it out. If last time I said how are you, this time I'm going to say I hope all is well. Hey girl, I hope all is well. Today's Friday. I'm going to, hip hip hooray, happy Friday. I saw on your page that you're a mom too. How old are your girls? My guy is 11 months, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record. My guy is 11 months, and time sure is flying. Can you tell why I can do this without looking at anything? Because I do it all the time, every single day, at least 5 or 10 times a day. I will, for the sake of time, copy and paste it, but for the sake of this video, I'm not doing that. My guy is 11 months, and time sure is flying. I know everyone tells you that, but I guess I didn't really understand until I had my own baby. Heart emoji. That's it. Now I'm going to go back to my tracker sheet. I'm going to edit, highlight, edit, copy, bring her over to this column. This is the second column. So if they're in this column, it means they've gotten 2 messages now. Edit, paste, and again, a week from today, 4/1. Okay, I'm going to show you that one more time, and then I'm going to delete her from this column. So I guess you could cut and paste, actually. So I have one more 325 person, so it'll be a day early, no big deal. Highlight, edit, copy, go over to Messenger, go to the search bar, edit, paste. It'll bring her up. And this time I will copy and paste. You can see how I use my copy and pasting. So, hey Gina, thanks so much for connecting. How are you? I saw that you liked my fitness page, so I wanted to reach out and say thanks. I appreciate it. Do you have any health goals you're working on? So I'm going to go to her page to kind of refresh my memory. Oh my goodness. Looks like she has some kids, some babies. Oh yeah, I've been talking, I remember looking at this girl's page. So like, I can't 100% tell like if those are all her kids. I'm not sure. She looks kind of young. I don't know. You go to her photos if you wanted. So just to play it safe, I'm going to say, how old are your kids? Just because I'm not 100% sure. So over in the notes section on my computer, you could have it in another Google Doc. It just, for me, it works to have a notes section. I have a Beachbody folder in the notes section. I have this on my phone too. And within the folder, I have a bunch of different subfolders, I guess. And I have one that's called most used. So I have an initial invite and an invite if I'm like a kind of a follow-up invite, like if I've invited them a month or 2 ago and I'm re-inviting them. A follow-up, a form, that's where this is. Happy Friday. I hope all is well. I saw on your page that you're a mom too. How old is your little one? Blah, 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 blah. So all I have to do is copy this, highlight, select all, highlight, edit, copy, minimize this, go here, edit, paste. You'll notice there's no like beginning on it because sometimes I'm in the mood to say their name and other times it's hey girl. You know, so I don't want to have it say something and then I have to remember to erase it. So I always input that myself. So now I'll say her name. Hi, Gina. Happy Friday. I hope all is well. I saw on your page that you're a mom too. How old? And so I have to edit this because this says how old is your little one. So I have to say how old are your kids? So you can't go too fast. You got to pay attention. How old are your kids? Do you feel like time goes by so fast? I know everyone says it, but I totally didn't understand it until I lived it. I wish I had a pause button sometimes. And then I'm going to add the heart emoji. And paste. And then I'm going to go back to my Google Sheet. This time I'm going to highlight and cut. Edit, cut. Bring her over here. Edit, paste. 4, 1. Delete her from this column. Okay, so those are my second message. And then these people they either have 2 or 3 messages. And I'll show you the difference between the 2. So once I've done all the people from this column from that day, like whatever day you're in, like this is 3/27, so I'm not going to reach out to them for 3 more days. I'm going to do the same thing with these people. So this girl, Krista, I need to message her today. So copy, edit, copy, go to Messenger, put it in the search bar, edit, paste. Okay, so this girl actually has written back to me. So we've been going back and forth. So to bring you back here, I said, hey, Krista, how are you? Thanks for connecting. I saw that you like my fitness page. Do you have any health goals you're working on? Now that used to be my first message, but now that's actually my second. So basically, these 2 are just swapped now. No big deal. So first I'm asking them about something personal, and then I'm asking them about their health goals. Hey, my health goals at the moment are to get more tone and just feel stronger. I'm doing the 21-day fix extreme right now. So this girl's actually funny because I'm pretty sure she already has a coach. I just signed up for the free trial and she let me join a challenge group. So like she has a coach. This is good to just side note. I used to totally disregard these people and be like, well, she's a goner. People, if you keep them on your tracking list and you message them like in 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, you never know. I got a new challenger who I reconnected with and I was like, oh, how's your Beachbody business Beachbody journey going? She's like, actually, I'm not doing it anymore. My coach quit. So now she's my customer and she's awesome. And I'm pretty sure she's going to become a coach one day. So that's a great example. So I'm going to edit, cut her from here. And I'm going to bring her. So I have different tabs in my Google Doc. This is my business tracker sheet. And I have a monthly follow-up. So I have one for every month. So I'm working my way through my March ones. You can see this will be all cleared by the end of the March. So these are people who either said like, not right now, or they said, oh, I'm waiting for my tax money to come in. Or, I talked to a lot of pregnant women. So they might have had their baby in like January. And so I put their name in for March to follow up with them, like 6 or 8 weeks later. So this girl already has a coach. So just in my head, there's no like right or wrong. It is almost the end of March. So I'm going to say like the beginning of May, I'm going to reach out to her. This is a new trick I got from Caroline Nathan. I used to you can tell, I used to just put people under the month, but now I'm going to try to narrow that down to beginning, middle, and end of the month. That'll just help me with the follow-ups. So I'm going to put this chick, since it's the end of March, I'm going to give her like 6 weeks and put her in the beginning of May. And so the beginning of May, I'm going to reach out to her and say, oh, how are you doing with the 21-day fix extreme? How are your results? Blah, blah, blah. Are you still in your challenge groups? Blah, blah, blah. And she may very well be like, yeah, or, it's going great, or I actually joined to be a coach, and, who knows? But she could also say, actually, I kind of fell off the wagon. My friend was my coach, and she decided she didn't have enough time to do it anymore. And so then, well, there you go. I can be your coach. So let's go back to the business tracker. Copy this person. Bryn. So she's a good example to show you. She hasn't answered any of my messages yet, but you can tell that she's read it. Again, not taking it personally. It is what it is. Maybe she doesn't want anything to do with me. Maybe she's just really freaking busy. So you can tell March 10th, and then exactly 1 week later was the second one, which is a week ago today. So I'm going to go back to her profile just to kind of refresh my memory. Looks like she has a lot of kids. Maybe 2 of them, the youngest, are twins. She's a stay-at-home mom. That's my niche. That's my jam. Oh, didn't mean to do that. These pictures are pretty cute, blah, blah, blah. So I can't be sure which kids are hers, which aren't. So I'm going to say, so I probably said something about her kids versus like your son or your daughter or your baby. So then, so now I'm going to invite her because, what else are you going to do? If people don't answer you and you've already messaged them twice, once about health and fitness, once about trying to inform them, you might as well invite them because what can it hurt? The worst that can happen is she's going to continue to ignore me. Or she's going to say no, which doesn't hurt my feelings, gets me closer to a yes. Or she's going to freaking say yes. And, that's going to be somebody I'm going to help that month. So this is going to be my initial invite. I've never asked her before, so I'm going to invite her. So I'm going to copy, and I'll show you what this says. Copy. And even when you're copying and pasting, you still should read it over briefly, just like I said, showed you in that follow-up to make sure that it makes sense for that person. So like, hey girl, I've said Bryn both times, so I feel like hey girl is appropriate. How are you? Happy Friday. I'm sure you've probably seen from my page. So I've never talked to her before. So I want to just kind of point out the obvious in case she doesn't already get it. Maybe she doesn't really follow my page and she doesn't know. So I want to just make sure it's obvious and clear that I'm a health coach. So I'm sure you've probably seen from my page that I'm an online health coach. So this may or may not sound crazy. Haha. I got this from Amy Morgan, so I can't take credit for it. But I'm putting together an online fitness challenge called Spring Shape Up. FYI, that's our April group. I feel like we connect in a lot of ways, and I'd love for you to join. Are you open to hearing more about it? So it's very cool, calm. It's doesn't seem like you're throwing too much information at her. Are you open to hearing more about it? I'm not going to throw her word vomit all these details. First, I'm going to just ask if she's interested. And, sometimes people will write back to this because people don't really, you don't know, but sometimes people don't want this fluffy forming stuff and they want to get right down to business, but they don't want to ask you. They're too nervous. So once you ask them, they come out of the woodwork, and that's where the conversation goes. Other people love this fluffy stuff and they want to talk about their kids. And then, you kind of figure out when is a good time to throw in the invite. So I'm going to message that. I'm going to send that. Then I'm going to, from here, she doesn't go back on my list. I'm going to archive her. Again, we're friends. So if I archive her and then she messages me back, it's just going to pop up. Because if she still doesn't message me back after those 3 messages, then I'm not keeping her in my inbox. I like to try to keep my inbox nice and clean and organized. And I know that I will reach back out to her because I follow if you look on your Facebook Messenger app, has to be in Messenger app if you have an iPhone, and you go to the main screen and you go to the bottom right, there's a tab that says people. And then you can, it generates a list of all your Facebook friends alphabetically by first name. And so one of my daily tasks is to, I don't know if you can see that. Kind of. One of my daily tasks is to reach out to 10 or 20 people on that list from wherever I ended off the day before, whether it's to invite them or just kind of say hi. If I haven't talked to somebody for 6 months, I'm probably not going to invite them right away. I might be oh, hey Sarah, happy Friday. Just wanted to let you know, I hope you have a good weekend. Do you have any fun plans? Or, hey Sarah, happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week, with a heart emoji. Just kind of reach out. So then when I do invite her the next month or so, it wouldn't be we haven't talked in 6 months and it's totally random to be inviting her. So that's why I feel comfortable deleting people from my tracker, because I know I'm going to ultimately get back to them when I do this task. That makes sense. I just don't like clutter in my inbox. I like it to be organized. So I'll show you one more of these, and then I'm just going to show you my inbox, and that'll be it. So highlight, edit, copy, go to Messenger, search bar, edit, paste, click on her name. So we've been chatting. So I messaged her about, she had just had a baby. So I wasn't going to ask her about her like her current health habits because she literally just had a baby. She has a 5-week-old. So I did the forming sooner than I typically would. And so we're talking about that. And she says she has an older one. I asked if they're in pre-K, you know, because I relate the whole kindergarten teacher thing. Again, still forming. So she only had a 5-week-old. So I'm probably not going to push it with her. So what I'm going to do with her is highlight her name, edit, copy, go back to my tracker sheet, but I'm going to pull her up in the monthly follow-up. So if she had a baby 5 weeks ago, it was probably the end of, and I do the math in my head. It was the end of February. And so I know after I had a baby 5 weeks, I wouldn't have been ready to even talk about a challenge group, especially if it was new to me. So I'm probably going to message her in like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm going to put her for the middle of April to reach back out to her. And because then and then I'm going to archive it, because when, you know, when I reach out to her, all of our previous conversation is going to pop up. So what I do is kind of just scroll backwards and, you know, kind of refresh my memory of like who she was, look at her pictures. And so I can continue the conversation. So I'll ask, so in like 2 or 3 weeks, when I get to my April list, I'll message her and say, oh, how are you feeling? How's the baby doing? Is he sleeping through the night? You know, that sort of thing. And then I'll kind of schmooze it in there and say, oh, so, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I'm an online health and wellness coach. And, I was once in your shoes after I had my baby. So I just wanted to let you know, I have this spring shape up group happening, and I'd love to help you get back on track if that's something that you're interested in, and then that's that. It doesn't feel weird to invite people when I'm genuinely trying to help them and when they're part of my niche. Like, I truly have been in this woman's shoes. I know it was hard. I know it's not easy. So, why wouldn't I extend an offer and an invite to her? It doesn't feel weird. So that's what I do. Last but not least, I'll show you my inbox. So it looks like this girl that I messaged, she gave me the thumbs up. I'm not a big fan of the thumbs up. I don't really understand, I don't know what she means by that. So I might just give her a happy face for now and invite her in a week when it comes up in my tracker. Okay, so now when I do my follow-ups, I go to my message inbox. I go all the way to the bottom. And I started to do, because of my particular niche, I think, moms are particularly extra busy. And so I used to do follow-ups every 48 hours, and now I'm doing them every 3 days, every 72 hours. Because I just feel like I was getting a lot of people being like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so busy. Oh, I'm so busy. Oh, this baby was sick. Oh, I had to do this. And, oh, I saw your message and I forgot. I think 36 hours is more doable for a mom. So I'll scroll back, and it's pretty much the bottom of my inbox. You'll see that there are some lingering ones. So basically today's Friday. So 72 hours ago was Tuesday. So every day, I'm going to go through all of my messages that say Tuesday over here on the right-hand side. And I'm going to keep going until I hit one that says Wednesday. You can see I have a lot of follow-ups to do. And I'm going to stop when I get to Wednesday, because I'm going to do that follow-up tomorrow. So I'm going to go back down to the beginning of Tuesdays. And you'll see I have some older ones. I think I told you before, if we're not friends, I'll keep their message up and I'll message them a week later if they should have been in this tracker sheet. Just some old messages. These are ones we're not friends. So that's where they came from, but they're not ready to be messaged back. So I'm just going to leave those aside for now. And I'm going to start at the bottom of Tuesday and work my way up. So some of these people, if I had forgot to archive the conversation when I was doing my tracker sheet, they may just be people from that. So hey, Amy. So Amy and Todd. So I'm going to go to my business tracker sheet, and more than likely she's here. Amy and Todd. Amy can't. Nope. So I had never, sometimes I'm doing this really fast. I had never put her on my tracker sheet. So what I'm going to do is, because you can see, like, I only messaged her 36 hours ago. So really, I guess the difference is with the tracker sheet, it's every week if they don't answer. But if they do answer and we're having a conversation, that's where I wait the 3 days. I hope that makes sense. So like if we've been going back and forth and I've asked them a question and they didn't answer me, I'll wait 3 days to follow up. But if they're just from the tracker and I have yet to have any conversation with them, then I wait a week in between messages. So I'm going to do edit, copy, go to my sheet. And so I had originally messaged her on Tuesday, which would have been, roughly the 21st. And so a week from that would be the 28th. So I'm going to go here. You can insert a row below. I'm going to put her there and put 328. Okay, so then I can archive her. And like I said, the more you do this, the faster it goes. So this girl I've been talking to, so she'd be a perfect example. She would be one I would follow up with. So I did the original email, the original message. Do you have any goals you're working on? She said, she was very personable. Which one? I'm a full-time working mom. I need to get her life back. I love my job. I have a busy life, but it's so hard to find balance. And so, I connected with her. I totally get it. As moms, we put everyone else before ourselves. And yes, balance, that's something I'm working on. What do you do for work? You always want to end with a question so that they're more than likely to write back. So you can tell here, I was probably going really fast and I didn't ask her a question, so she didn't write back. And that's where the conversation stopped. So I'm going to pick the conversation back up and say, hey, Lindsay, sometimes I stretch the truth and I'm like, oh, sorry, I must have misplaced our conversation. Other times I'll just say, oh, sorry, it's been a hectic few days. Happy Friday. Sorry, it's been a busy couple of days. I mean, what mom can't relate to it being a busy couple of days? So I'm going to try to get the conversation back into health and fitness. Sorry, it's been a busy couple of days. I'm drawing a blank because I'm on video. Hey, Lindsay, happy Friday. Sorry, it's been a busy couple of days. How are you? I'd love to help you work on finding some time for yourself if you're interested. Do you currently work out? It's not fitting question, right? So then that message goes to the very top of my message inbox. And if she still doesn't write back, then it's going to pop up in 3 days. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So on Monday, I will reach back out to her. But more than likely, you could tell she was pretty personable. I'm sure she'll write back. So again, I go to the bottom Tuesday. That's one I'm saving. Go to Courtney. Courtney was meant to be on my tracker sheet. So I'm going to see if she's there. Courtney, somebody or other. Around the 28th. Nope. So I'm going to go and I'm going to highlight her name. So this is just because I was working too fast and I forgot to put her on my tracker sheet. So again, I'm going to go to the 28th, insert, row below, edit, paste, 328. Back to Messenger, back to where I stopped. Same thing. She belongs on my tracker sheet. Here, insert, row below, edit, paste, 328, back to Messenger, pick up where I left off. She didn't answer me. She should be on my tracker. So I'm going to go back. You get the point there. I'm going to go to one that I can actually talk to. Okay, so she kind of wrote back, no problem. You have great videos. So I thanked her for liking my page. No problem. You have great videos. He was born on Halloween. He's about 5 months old. I said, oh, thanks so much. That's such a fun birthday. My guy will be 11 months on Friday. Again, I'm working too fast. I forgot to ask her a question. So I'm just going to pick up the conversation. No big deal. Hey, Brittany. How are you? Happy Friday. Do you have any fun weekend plans? It doesn't always have to be about health and fitness. So maybe, because that was really just a brief response on her part. So maybe I'm going to try to kind of form her a little bit more, and then I'll invite her. Let me see. See if there's another one I can. Oh, let's see. Okay, so we've been talking for a while. Hey, Christina, thanks for connecting. How are you? And this, you can tell this was from December. So this wasn't really when I was doing this system. She said she had her baby and she's trying to get back to her pre-pregnancy size. She says, I said, I'd like to help you if you're interested. She's working her way up to 75 squats. We're still December. She was probably on my my tracker, so I reached out to her in March, and I invited her to the Make March Your Month challenge group. She didn't answer, so then we had the so then I did a follow-up, and I asked her if she was interested in chatting more about it. So obviously, I'm not going to tell her, but it was too late for the March one, so then she'd have to be in the April one. Hey, yes, I'm interested. When does it start? It starts Monday. Blah, blah, blah. She still didn't answer. So then I invited her to the ab challenge group. Perfect. Friday was great. She still didn't answer. She finally answered and said, hey, just got home from grocery shopping. I would like to join the spring shape up. I love workouts and my abs are on fire too. My jeans are not as tight. So she got some pretty good results from the ab group. So we're talking about her weekend. She had a busy weekend. And so I'm going to pick up the conversation again. Hey, Christina. How are you? I hope, she was saying how she had a really busy weekend. I hope things are settling down for you. I mean, so you don't want to be such a robot that you're sending the same exact message. You want to, reply in a genuine way. So you really want to kind of review the conversation. I hope things are settling down for you. I'd love to continue chatting with you about the spring shape up group. Can you tell me a bit? Oh, no, so I'm going to say, do you mind if I ask you a few questions first so I can get an idea of how I can best support you? Question. I'm going to wait for her to write back. So I'm going to stop there, but I just thought of one thing. Back on the business tracker. So from here, my third invite right now is to invite them to the challenge group. Typically in the past, my first real invite to something would have been to a free group. We do have the Team Boom Forever Fit group, but if you can't tell, that group is lacking a little bit in terms of motivation and people who are actually chiming in, engagement. So I've been toying with the idea of starting a new free group. So in the interim, I just haven't been inviting to the free group. I think if you have something free to invite them to, we have the free challenge group sneak peeks, we have the free ad groups, that's ideal to, so that you're giving people something of value before you're inviting them to buy something. But right now I'm not loving that group and I don't want to add any more people to it. So I'm just kind of skipping that step. That's it. I think it's been something crazy, 40 minutes or something. So that's it. I'm going to post this and comment below if you have any questions or shoot me a message. Again, many of us probably have the same questions. So I would encourage you to comment below so that everybody can see and everybody can benefit from seeing each other's questions and my answers. All right. Happy weekend, guys.